For decades, a powerful pesticide has been a quiet force in American agriculture. Farmers spray it on their fields where they grow wheat, cotton, and other crops as a way to quickly kill weeds. But scientists are increasingly warning farmers that the chemical they've come to rely on may actually be killing them. The chemical is called paraquat, and it's now at the center of one of the biggest environmental health battles in the country. Thousands of farmers who used paraquat say the exposure caused them to develop Parkinson's disease, a devastating, incurable neurological disorder. They claim the Chinese-owned company behind it, Syngenta, knew the risks for years and worked behind the scenes to bury the research connecting paraquat to Parkinson's. More than 8,000 lawsuits have been filed across the United States. I spoke with Amy Wagstaff, an attorney representing paraquat plaintiffs.
They're alleging that Syngenta and Chevron knew that paraquat could get into your bloodstream and go to your brain, and that they knew that it was a neurotoxin, and they did nothing to prevent that, and they did not warn about it. Anytime a chemical company knows of the danger of something and they don't do anything to stop it, and they certainly don't warn, or they don't enforce wearing PPEs and things of that nature, I think the juries will find that very egregious.
Internal company files obtained by the new Lede show as far back as 1975, corporate insiders were aware of the potential risks. They called paraquat's long-term effects a quite terrible problem. The documents reveal that Syngenta has spent the last several decades working to protect their paraquat profits, silence critics, and influence regulators.
A manufacturer of paraquat had done its own laboratory experiments exposing mice, rats, and rabbits to paraquat, and those exposures led to features of the disease, including tremor. These experiments, though, weren't done in the 1990s when academics were doing them. These experiments, according to reporting from The Guardian, were done in the 1960s, a generation before academics had reached the same conclusion.
Among other tactics, the company developed a SWAT team strategy to undermine any science that showed links between paraquat and Parkinson's disease. The record shows Syngenta even worked behind the scenes to block a respected scientist from joining an Environmental Protection Agency advisory panel, and took steps to ensure its role in blocking that scientist wouldn't be traced.
The vast majority of individuals, 85+% of individuals in large portions of the world, carry no known genetic cause or genetic risk factor for the disease. The principal causes of Parkinson's disease, therefore, do not lie within us. They are not in our DNA. They are not in our cells. They lie outside of us in our environment. And paraquat and other pesticides and other chemicals that damage the energy-producing parts of nerve cells, the mitochondria, which are enriched in the cells that are damaged and die off in Parkinson's disease, are likely to blame.
As the disease progresses and the brain degenerates, people with the disease can suffer tremors, loss of balance and movement, difficulty speaking and swallowing, cognitive decline, and ultimately death. Today, Parkinson's is one of the fastest growing neurological disorders on the planet. Its prevalence has more than doubled in 30 years. Each year, about 90,000 Americans are diagnosed. Larry Wiles, a Pennsylvania farmer who used paraquat for years, is one of many farmers who have been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
I would pull in here with a tractor and a sprayer. We would spray paraquat on here to kill all the vegetation. I think paraquat came on the shelves in the early 60s. And my dad was the first in the area to use it. And we used it freely from then on for years. And then I bought my own farm right down the road here, and I used it. And I would say just in the last year have I recognized that it was the cause of my Parkinson's.
Syngenta denies that paraquat causes Parkinson's disease, and the company says it has over 1,000 studies that support its position. So far, it has avoided facing a jury because of settlements or delays, moving instead toward a mass financial settlement as trial dates in 2026 loom. I spoke with Feldelma Fitzpatrick, one of the lawyers representing plaintiffs, to learn more about the legal battle.
When those Syngenta papers became public and it became much more widely understood, not only what was happening scientifically, but what these companies actually knew. They actually knew what they were doing. That's really what spawned the renewed interest in the litigation, as well as just, developing science that is going on. So it kind of became that perfect storm. We were supposed to have had 4 trials by now. We've had no trials. I don't believe the defendants want to go to trial. I don't think that they had any interest in the world knowing what it is that they did and the absolute callous disregard they had for these clients.
As the debate grows louder, many plaintiffs are dying before they ever see their day in court.
The issue is this is a progressive disease. So if I file a case today of someone who's newly diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and they can't get to trial for 4 or 5 years, there's a substantial likelihood that they are not going to be able to fully participate in their trial. Parkinson's affects your ability to communicate. And because of that, the longer that you go between filing a lawsuit and actually getting your deposition taken, your ability to tell your story is just greatly compromised.
Almost all paraquat sprayed in the U.S. is imported from China and the United Kingdom. A grand irony, as both countries have already banned it on their own soil. One report put it bluntly: the health and environmental harms of paraquat will be felt in U.S. communities for generations as profits flow to a foreign-owned mega conglomerate. Dozens of countries around the world have banned paraquat, but it remains legal in the United States. The Environmental Protection Agency says the evidence isn't clear enough to ban it and has pushed for a final decision to 2026 to seek more data. Lawmakers, health groups, and advocate organizations like the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research are urging a ban, citing studies showing paraquat can raise Parkinson's risk by up to 500%.
Parkinson's is on the rise. It's the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease in the world. We started our journey on paraquat about 7 or 8 years ago at the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And when I learned of the connection between exposure to this chemical and Parkinson's, I immediately thought, well, this is something we can do something about. The more I dug into paraquat and the more I learned about paraquat, there were a lot of things that were surprising. It was surprising to find out that nearly 70 other countries have banned it, but the United States hasn't. But one of the shocking things is that paraquat is banned on golf courses. So the golfers are protected, the golf course workers are protected, yet we use it on crops all over the United States. When I learned that this is a disease that could possibly be prevented, that to me is a public policy question. And so we've worked so hard over the past several years submitting dozens upon dozens of scientific studies to the EPA, a petition with over 100,000 signatures to the EPA. We've met with the EPA with patients that were exposed to paraquat.
For farmers who built their lives on the land, the fight over paraquat isn't about politics or abstract science. It's personal.
All you have to do is look at my life, and you can see what it can do to a person who spread those chemicals on the land. So I would say, please take a good look at it, and please find it within yourself to rid this horrible chemical off the shelves and stop the big companies from making it.
The knowledge that for decades we've poisoned the land, the air, the water, and the food that we live around. And because of that, because of all these chemicals that we've put into our system, there are diseases out there that are caused by these chemicals. And it's within our power to eliminate those diseases if we eliminate the triggers.